Well, hello everyone. This is my new project. I call it my Sonar project. My first semi-substantial Arduino thing that I've done. That's a ultrasonic transmitter. I'm not really sure what model number it is, but I'm sure it's the same as more or less any other one that you would get. That's on the bottom. That's one of the cheapest hobby servos you can get. That's a Micro Serv 99 from Tower Pro. I actually have two of them. This is the worst of them because later if I want precision, this one isn't going to do it. As you can see by its jankiness, that's not the code, that's the actual servo. And controlling it, and behind there is an Arduino. So let's go through a little bit over the connections, how it's set up and what it does. So, okay, let's start with, and finally it's working over Bluetooth. And that's an HC06 module, even though it says it's something else. We'll get to that in a minute. Okay, so what is it doing? Currently, right now, it is transmitting data, both over which is the range that it finds, both over Bluetooth and over the serial monitor. So, right. And if you look here on my phone, it is constantly sending data. The first number is the range that it's detecting, whereas the second number is the angle of the servo at the time that that happens. Right now it's pretty ugly on Bluetooth, but I just felt happy I got it to work, period. But you can see perhaps a little more clearly on here, where the number goes up and down, the angle goes up and down smoothly at a pretty rapid pace, whereas the distance is changing. And if I put my hand in close here, you can see that the goes to smaller numbers. So again, far, close, far, close. Now it's also, so this is pretty much all based on the standard code that's out there. Essentially, Arduino sends out a pulse on the trigger pin, which sends out an ultrasonic pulse. It listens for that sound to come back, and that goes back on the echo pin. And as that happens, it measures the sound. From there, it knows the range. Similarly, the Arduino is telling the servo to turn to a particular position, and that's sent out over here to the control pin of the servo. So, all in all, fairly simple build. This is just different things had together. I was quite pleased with the Bluetooth though. Bluetooth's rather difficult to get working. I had a heck of a time getting it to work. To reset the baud rate of this, which is necessary for a lot of applications, including largely Arduino, you need to do a whole bunch of stuff first. And to reset the baud rate, there's various ways to do it. You can do it over a terminal, but you'd have to create a serial converter, which is incredibly difficult. Or you can try to set it up with the Arduino, but the problem with that is you need to send it certain commands, but sending a new sketch to the Arduino uses the one and only serial command that the Arduino has. Now there's a program to help with this called BT Soft Serial Magic, and it's a good idea. What it does is, instead of using the standard serial TX, RX pins on the Arduino, instead it creates a new software serial port on the digital output pins, and it can work fairly fast, etc. And we'll talk a little bit about that in a minute, but it's not all fun and games, and here's why. Because, and you do that so that it has its own serial port and won't interfere with the USB. Problem with this program is, one, it's too large to run on a Uno. So, right, I'm not sure why he bothered developing it then, and it's difficult to read code. So I went about hacking off large pieces of it that didn't make sense, and eventually I got it to work. Whereupon, so I set it to 115,200 baud, and it promptly failed. It was like, I succeeded, it worked, I was very happy, and then I realized, oh my God, I can't connect or anything. It just sends garbage. It's total disaster. So over on some of the RC forums, I'll try and find a link for this, but I had it working. I found a different sketch that's a little bit simpler. You just kind of set up everything you want in the sketch itself. You know what name you want it to have, what baud rate, etc. And it just sends that all over at once. And I eventually got that to work. And at 57,600 baud, it is behaving much, much, much better. Well, eventually I want to have this set up to show like a little map, like maybe an aliens from this. But for now, I'm happy. It works. Ta-da! We have success. We can see how far away things are. We can scan for intruders. And that's about it for now. Thanks.